Hello guys, Linker here on the test server with a brand new patch, this one with many positive changes for you to prepare for. Let's just get right into it. So as you can see, patch 1.54 just dropped with many good things I want to talk about. It has many parts. First, these three, you probably already know this. Misty is a permanent thing. Goodbye to your time. There's also going to be Voyager, Balloon, all of that. And then, the first meaningful feature is going to be hero popularity. Now, as we already know from Shazam and Path Seeker video, I'll link it down below, this information is very useful when it comes to endgame priorities, and it will now be on a global scale, including signature items and furniture usage. I'm really looking forward to test it against my tier list. If there's any big changes, and there will probably be some that will be discovered, I'll update you guys up to the meta so that we can prepare for the very end game. There's also a new player bundle called Voyager set. Now it comes with eventually replacing the newcomer bundle, the one that grants diamonds. From the sounds of it, it won't be available for more experienced players. There's also going to be a new first purchase bundle. This doesn't apply retroactively, meaning you'll need to make a purchase to get it. Greedy devs, personal advice would be do the one deal for keys if you haven't done it. You are at F2P, really high value on that. It will also be a new banner, brand new for free-to-play players to keep safe. Next is going to be the Dismal Nerf I predicted. It's coming to live. You can refresh enemy formations. I think if you do end up doing it, that's a good way to do it. It gives you an element of strategy. For example, in the execution lab that we had, refreshing thorns would be a good idea, but you have to keep an eye not to overdo it. Over 3 times you run out, so that's a good way to do it with some strategy involved, which we like. Next is going to be the front list increase. I think 40 is still very low, but that's a very good step in the right direction, an awesome thing overall. Long click on heroes within replay log to learn about them. Hopefully you'll be able to see the artifacts. A lot of people tell me when they do the replays that I see, I just can't replicate what they did. And are they all just macro beasts? And they are macro beasts. We'll talk about them in a second. But being able to see the right artifacts that people use will be meaningful. It might even out some TR boss stage secrets that we didn't know before, so looking forward to learn more about that. Recycling is good, they see, and then there's the hero changes. Now, hero changes are going to be pretty meaningful. First is going to be the description improvement, and in a game with this many translation errors, especially on all the new ones, that's a very welcome change. Looking forward to see it. There's also Rezzle, Demonic Assault reward. So this is going to be very down to the detail. This is a huge change for the hero. That's the ability that gives him all the viability he has inside TR, inside Lab, because it steals boss stats on AE2. If they buff it, it might even be viable in campaign or PvP. If they change it, it might lose all viability. I'm looking forward to see what exactly it means, but do look for it. Does it still steal stats? If it's just a bland attack or anything like that, it's not going to be very good. But from the past, we know that they make changes that usually buff those heroes. So Rezzle, a hero that could use a buff, might become a staple for TR. Keep an eye on him. They also fixed Brutus-less gaps. Now, let's talk a bit for Brutus-less gas. Now, I want to know who snitched the devs about this one. Probably one of you, because the idea was that you could ignore immunity if you had enough insight. Pretty niche to tell, but some players tested it and knew it. This is going to be meaningful for the macro legends to replay Brutus stages 1000 times to take effect. Now you can't do that anymore. You gotta handle this immunity, so either Ezio or Nar, this is an indirect nerf to them. You'll see those stages with Brutus becoming slightly harder than they were before. Next is going to be an Aziz, and this is going to be a meaningful buff. It says fixed, but this is a buff. Hear me out. The Feeble Mind thing is a lot of enemies are CC immune, especially in PvP. He faces stuff like Irons recently, so him not going into the animation will allow him to do other things like Horrify, and he has meaningful things to do. All too, I was sure that's actually intentional the way it was, to punish players who played him wrong. I didn't think he needed a buff, but I guess Lilith begs to differ once again, so Aziz basically buffed at this point. Also Zorath, I haven't seen this before, fixed preventing timer from being triggered when he was suffered fatal damage for the first time, and the transformation fix of FIFA. Oh, I actually didn't know that and didn't see it while I was writing the script. I'm seeing this live with you guys. Alright, so super niche interaction, but pretty meaningful. Some people were doing Pipa to bypass Zorath. I know of the Ezio trick, that's probably still there, but Pipa I didn't know about, so that's pretty interesting. Cassie, by the way, who had similar banish mechanic, or Fox, if he died during these, and there's a few ways to damage him during these, he actually didn't die, so it's interesting that Pipas actually work differently. That might be a different mechanic that you can test with other things. Maybe Brutus immunity doesn't trigger on it, I don't know. And lastly, there's gonna be Alna. Now Alna, this is a huge word salad, meaning her signature item used to not work, and now it works. So if you heard people saying she's underwhelming, that's probably the reason. You either do it elite, like a better version of Brutus, and you just level her to use her ability. When she's in the frontline, she uses it fast. Or you invest in her and she carries. Now, and for those of you who want to invest in her, heard bad things about her passive, how it works, about how this whole signature item immunity thing works, now you have all the reasons to go ahead, especially meaningful in campaign where this ability works with the likes of Daemon, Isolde, etc. People, like and subscribe. It means a lot to me. Do take the pause, do like and subscribe, because this is what motivates me to keep going on with this, and I really appreciate you guys' feedback. Let me know what you think about the recent videos. I'm releasing many recently, working extra hard, especially towards the Lilith collab, where I know my channel won't be as active. I'll be doing some stuff on the main AFKArena channel. Anyways, I've been Linker. Peace.